Amino acids are going to be what you use to make a lot of your sleep hormones. So the first thing I look at is, how is your digestion? Are you eating enough protein? Are you vegan, vegetarian? Are you getting enough protein? Number one. Number two, are you digesting it? Are you assimilating it? How are your stools looking? Are they floating at all too? Are you processing your fat soluble vitamins as well? These are really, really, really important things we want to look at when it comes to sleep, because all of our neurochemicals, most are going to be made from amino acids, amino acid peptides, right? Serotonin is going to be made from tryptophan or 5-HTP. Dopamine and adrenaline are going to be made from phenylalanine and tyrosine. GABA's, itself, it's gamma aminobutyric acid. L-theanine plays a big role in GABA. Trying to think, melatonin is also made from serotonin, which is made from 5-HTP and tryptophan. Anything else you wanted to highlight on the protein connection there?
Yeah, you need some B6 too as your
B6.
cofactor.
B6 is a very important cofactor that's involved in the synthesis. If you have a lot of these amino acids there, but not enough B6, you're not going to have this synthesis happen. It's like having a whole bunch of wood, and it's like having a whole bunch of wood that's wet, and then you have the flame. Well, you need dry wood, right? So it's a really important cofactor to that equation, so that spark takes.
And we'll ask people that too. So when we look at the urinary organic acid test, we can measure the B6 levels. And I'll ask people, hey, look, your B6 is really low. How's your sleep? And I would say 9 times out of 10, people say my sleep is not good. And the other brain chemistry markers may look okay, like serotonin may look adequate. But if you're not having that cofactor, I think of it like the spark plug, really. If you don't have the spark plug to make the melatonin, then adequate serotonin may be helpful for mood, but your sleep could still suffer.
Correct. Yep, 100%. So we talked about the amino acids. I would say blood sugar is a really important thing. Now, there's a lot of people doing a whole bunch of fasting, which I think can have some good benefits as long as we're getting enough nutrition, right? There's a fine line between fasting and anorexia. I mean, you tell me, what's the definition of anorexia? It's essentially starving, right? Getting an inadequate amount of calories, right? It's an eating disorder. Well, if you're fasting to the point where you're getting inadequate amount of calories, well, that means you're automatically getting an inadequate amount of nutrition. I mean, if your calories are cut in half, how do you get enough nutrition? I think it's impossible. Now, if you're doing lots of organ meat and lots of nutrient-dense foods and bone broth and green juice, really good organic greens, you have at least a head start there, but your body still needs enough overall calories. Calories are energy. And if we're eating whole food, nutrient-dense calories are attached to nutrients. In this day and age, though, it's possible, especially with Halloween, to get a whole bunch of calories and very low amount of nutrition. So you could have a lot of calories and low nutrition, but if you don't get enough calories, it's going to always be difficult to have adequate amount of nutrition. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. Well, you're pointing out the fact people will just, when they go into a fasting protocol for cognitive benefits or try to lose weight, they may just pull a meal completely out. So they'll just not eat breakfast. Now they're only eating 2 meals a day, but they did nothing to replace those nutrients they lost at breakfast.
And especially if they've added in some exercise or they're doing some resistance training, that could be an extra stressor on top of that. So you really have to look at your nutrition, run it through a chronometer, just double check to make sure you're getting enough, because if you aren't getting enough, that's also a stressor. So you're now trying to make your body less stressed by fasting and giving your tummy a chance to rest, while at the same time you're adding more stress. And that could create some cortisol surges at the wrong times. It may even create a little bit of a hypoglycemic drop at night. And those hypoglycemic drops can stimulate cortisol and adrenaline to pick up that low blood sugar. So that's always a possibility if you're waking up in the middle of the night. So you have going to sleep and then you have waking up in the middle of the night. And so waking up in the middle of the night, a lot of times could be a blood sugar thing. It could also be a gut or a liver thing, right? That liver hours between 1 and 3, it could possibly be connected with that as well.
Yeah, I've had people do this experiment where we'll give them a liver tincture, like a milk thistle, berry combo, or we'll do some encapsulated liver support before bed. And a lot of times that will improve that 1 to 3 a.m. wake up time. So
Yeah.
Chinese medicine's right. Chinese medicines who said, oh, it's got to be the liver. It has a circadian rhythm. And it's true.
Yeah, I mean, taking some activated charcoal, when that liver and gallbladder pump stuff out, that activated charcoal is sitting in your tummy and it's kind of soak it up. It also giving some glutathione and glycine before bed, if that helps, And like you mentioned, giving some liver tonifying herbs, like whether it's schisandra or milk thistle or artichoke or dandelion, just things to naturally support the liver gallbladder. That's a good sign that there could be a toxicity issue as well.
Yeah. So the blood sugar piece is great. I love how you tied it into the adrenals.